Okie dokie. Let's start up with this here. Number 1. Which partitioning type is required when you have a UEFI?
A.
Everyone agree? Let's find out.
Yes.
Correct. For those that did agree, when partitioning within a UEFI firmware, you should be going with a GPT partitions. MBR is for the BIOS part code firmware. And as for Post, who is Post? Except for the Kellogg's and Post cereals. Anyone? Post.
Power on self-test.
Thank you. Power on self-test. That's what it does when it turns on. It won't do anything with a partition. So power on self-test will actually do that. You can do a fast post or just a thorough post depending on your settings inside the actual BIOS. Number 2, which of the following are used to prevent pop-unders? Is it pop-up blockers? Is it anti-malware? Is it phishing?
B.
B, yeah. It's B.
Yes. Good. You guys remember. It is pop-up blockers because pop-up blockers and pop-up unders, or sorry, pop-ups and pop-unders fall under pop-up. Pop-unders are the ones that are invisible to the user. In other words, it is running in the background. Versus pop-ups are the ones that are running in the foreground. Any questions or doubts? Pop-ups and pop-unders. In general, how often should you update your antivirus, not your patches, your antivirus?
A.
B.
B, as in boy?
C as in cat.
Oh, geez, man. Diego, clean your ears, bro. All right, yes, it is C, daily. It is the antivirus. For those that might have thought it was weekly, that is your patches and or updates from your given operating systems. Those are usually coming out weekly. It used to be that it was monthly coming out of Windows, but now it is weekly. In Windows, which utility is responsible for finding, downloading, and installing Windows patches?
C.
D.
No,
The D.
D.
D?
Yeah, D.
Correct. Which startup setting option allows you to boot with basic drivers?
Safe mode.
D.
That is correct. Safe mode. Enable low resolution video. How would that be a startup option? I understand you can most likely lower your resolution, as I can here, which would look horrible. The actual one that does it in the boot would be your safe mode. Okay, next one. Which boot rec option can be used at the Windows recovery command prompt to rebuild the boot configuration file? Which option? Boot rec option.
D.
B as in boy or D as in dog?
B as in boy.
Boy, yes.
Boy.
To rebuild your BCD. That's what it's doing here. Rebuild. Rebuild your boot configuration. What is the first step in troubleshooting process for applications?
Boy.
Identify the problem. Good one. Which of the following programs could be considered anti-malware?
A.
Anyone know who MDM is? No, it's not M&M, but MDM.
MGM.
Not MGM either. MDM is a mobile distribution manager. He's the guy that I was talking about where you can actually control all the given devices in the company. This is the one that BlackBerry continued to hang their head on, that you don't need anything. So BlackBerry has their own server, but this mobile distribution manager is the aftermarket one that allows you to control any other ones. Basically, you have to add them to the mobile distribution manager to take control. Apple actually has a lot of issues with the MDM. It actually has to come through the actual provider ready to be going into your MDM. If not, believe it or not, when I worked with cable and wireless, Apple was telling us that our vendor or the ISP or the phone had to provide this. And we all looked at each other like, we are the provider. What are you talking about? They never obviously passed it on to everybody. That is sometimes a problem, but the one MDM is a mobile distribution manager. That's what it is. Basically, you can install, you can remotely erase, you can do anything you want with the actual given device. Which of the following tools allows you to manually fix maliciously modified system files?
C.
System files.
B.
E as in boy.
System file checker, correct.
A.
What's the UAC?
User account controller.
Correct. And that does not fix anything. That's the one that we slide up or down, depending what flavor we want. We want it to ask everything. If we don't want it to ask at all or in the middle, there's two other choices, depending what you pick. Regedit will only update the registry. In the registry itself has nothing to do with fixing the actual system files. What is the consequence of an overheating mobile device?
B.
Degraded, correct. Inaccurate touch responses wouldn't overheat a mobile device. Which of the following is a Mac OS featured for password management?
Boy.
Keychain. Dock is the actual icons on the bottom within the Apple. Your keychain, just like your keychain has a little key symbol. If you remember, passwords within computer has that little key symbol. Therefore, you should be able to remember using that as your keychain as a reference. Which of the following utilities can be used in Linux to download patches for installation on a workstation?
C as a cat.
apt-get, correct. Update won't do it, and shell/terminal is just a shell, which is Windows command shell, versus terminal, which is the Linux and Mac black screen. Which Linux utility can be used to check and repair your disks?
A.
File system checker, that is correct. Check disk is inside Windows. Is Linux. Which of the following allows you to install Windows on Mac machine and choose between operating systems upon the boot up?
T. Okay.
That is correct. As part of your training program, you're trying to convince users to make backups on a regular basis. Which Apple app can be used to make backups of various types on a regular basis?
A.
Time machines. They're the only ones that were able to build time machines. I'm pretty sure Mr. Einstein is very proud. Next one. Which of the following Linux commands utilities can be used to edit a wireless connection configuration settings? Linux command.
Cat. C.
That is correct. iwconfig. If config we said was the physical one. You are currently in a Linux terminal and in the home test users mail directory for sure. Which of the one will give you one step up? in subfolder up 1.
E boy.
E as in boy.
That is correct. CD dot dot. Your iPad has an application that stopped working. Which feature tool can you use to stop it?
Club B.
Force quit. Kill is Linux command inside of CLI. What is the name of the area at the bottom of a Mac OS screen where by default a bar of crucial icons appear?
Dog.
Is it D?
Dock. That is correct. Footer. No. That is on the page though. Which Linux command can be used to let you run a single command as another user? Single command.
A.
Sudo. Super user do once versus super user do many or do all while I'm in here. Which component of physical security addresses the outer level access control? Which one's the outer?
A.
Correct. Perimeter security. Man traps are usually inside data rooms or inside the actual facility. When you're coming in, you got one door, then another door. That wouldn't be the actual outer level access, which is this guy here. Pretend this is the building, the blue guy. That is your perimeter. You have a very small network in a home-based office, and you want to limit the access to only those hosts that you physically own. Which should you utilize to make this possible?
Static.
Static IPs. Out of all the options here, the only one that you could use is static. Disabling DNS won't do that. Default subnet masking is not going to do that. And empty default gateway just stops you from going out to the internet. Which of the following attacks denies authorizations of users to access the network? Which type of attack denies authorized users to access to network resources?
A.
That was a tongue twister. Denial of service attack. Correct. Which of the wireless encryption protocols provides advanced encryption standard? AES encryption.
C.
That is correct. WPA2. You want to mitigate the threat of someone attaching a wireless access point to your wired network. What should you do to mitigate this threat?
E.
B as in boy or D as in dog?
B as in boy.
Boy would allow me to, in other words, data loss prevention will stop me from connecting an access point.
I put D. Port security.
Correct. Port security. Port security is the one that we said that we manually, administratively down the port. We'd actually see it in a managed switch. It says administratively down. Down, down, not up, down. Anyone know what's the difference between down, down, and up, down?
No.
Inside your switches, down, down is an administratively down port. It's down because it's down, and then it's down, down because it's down. Now, up, down means that it is on, but it's down because nothing's connected to it. Next one. You discovered that credentials to a specific application has been stolen. Did I pass anything? Yes, I did. I passed this one. The help desk has informed you that you have received an urgent call from a vice president last night requesting his logon ID and password. When you talk to the VP today, he says he's never even made a call. What are you talking about? What type of attack is this?
I put A.
Spoofing. Okay.
C.
Social engineering. Correct. Spoofing is when you spoof an IP, a MAC address. As for physical, he is obviously impersonating a person here, and that will be social engineering. The Trojan horse is a type of malware that is included within a given application in the inside. You discover that the credentials of a specific application have been stolen and the application is only accessed from one computer on the network. Which type of attack is most likely B?
A.
That is correct. It specifically said that there's only one computer. A zero-day attack will be a vulnerability that the application has. A denial of service means that no one can reach the actual application server. And the man in the middle is the one where he impersonates and makes sure that he tells both of them that he is vice versa, anyone that's in that conversation. Which of the following is different from a virus in that it can reproduce itself, it's self-contained, and does not need a host application to be transported?
Worm, gusano.
Gusanito. That is correct. He is self-reproducing, self-contained, indestructible. No, I'm just kidding. Forgot the rest of it. What's that guy's name? As for a Trojan, we know is an actual application which in itself has this Trojan horse. It does not reproduce itself, and nor is it self-contained. It is inside another application. You're working late one night and notice that the hard drive on your new computer is very active, even though you're not doing anything on the computer, and it's not connected to the internet. What is the most likely suspect?
Boy.
A virus is spreading through your system. Your system is under a DOS attack, would actually be your network. And since it's not on the network, it couldn't be a DOS attack.
Coronavirus.
Your boss needs you to present to upper management. Keyword, in simple terms, the need of a firewall for a network. What is the thesis of your presentation?
A.
That is correct. Isolation of one network from the other. Scanning of all packets and viruses. The first thing they're going to tell you is, what is a packet? They may know the word viruses, but if I'm talking to upper management, would this be a sentence that would make sense to them? Talking about CEOs, big guys. Remember, the higher you go, the less you know. About technology, right? I'm going. But usually that's what happens. The higher they are up there, they usually don't know. God only knows. They probably don't even know how to type sometimes. Any questions or doubts?
Yep.
That is all she wrote for today so far. And I will be